Hello, self, Ohana Cosmos. It's Solarnik here, and it's Magic Mirror work for March 10th, 2025. If you're not sure what this is yet, it's probably not for you. It's me going through as if this is a magic mirror, and I'm practicing doing some mirror work to look at the current thoughts, shadows, going ons, and I'm going to share this soon, what I see magic mirror work to be. It's going to keep evolving. And it jumps all over the place, and so it's not a cohesive kind of idea, thought stream. And that's the piece for me to do this for me, not for you. It just happens that I'm doing this on video and in public. And part of it for me is to show my progression. Part of it is to create my generative AI at some point in time. Part of it is just my own practice, my own dharma to be more transparent, authentic, to be me. And it's funny because I just got sent a reel from one of my founding partners, Marika, about how to market authentically. And I can completely see that this is part of it for me. It's to notice all the little pieces of manipulation I have there and not make them right or wrong. That's the thing I keep finding, is that there's such almost a push to say, you've got to do this the right way. And I really appreciate Dr. Demartini. It's finding that balance, that homeostasis. We're going to swing one way, we're going to swing the other. Because I think each of us has a different idea of what transparency, authenticity, integrity actually mean. They're wonderful sounding words. What is it actually in purpose and in practice? And where are you practicing? Where am I practicing? So, and part of it for me, as I can hear it, is I'm finding loopholes for myself already. And it's okay. Drinking lots of green juice. For those who may not want to hear this, yeah, whew, it is going through the body right now. I juiced a lot over this past weekend. We went and picked up a bunch of veggies and fruits and everything else like that. And so having as much juice as I want, probably it's going to be hard to keep up with how much I've juiced. And my body's definitely noticing it. And part of it is stepping outside of balance and seeing what there is when things actually get cleared out. This morning we'll be speaking with someone from what I affectionately call Jedi School to see what's possible. I've been listening to the telepathy tapes, which is really cool and such a reminder that kids have, especially kids who have been labeled as, never amounting to something, have much more hidden abilities than we ever thought. And we kind of knew this already, but it's interesting hearing it from something that's more mainstream and something that is really gaining traction and popularity, like just on the Joe Rogan show. And so it'll be interesting to see what happens over the next few weeks, whether this is, again, everything that has excitement, 80%, 20%, 80%, what's the real benefit behind this 20%, what may be the part that's actually challenging the status quo. And what happened last time with this kind of revelation was they found a way to push back against it. And so I'm just noticing that, and I'm noticing that this actually came up in the Breakthrough Experience movie, where there was one child who is an adult now who is using this kind of techniques to spell things out and has shown himself to be quite intelligent and prescient. Yeah, so just noticing all these things. This morning feels a little clusterfucky. Woke up around 2 a.m. with my cat feeding him, but I was like, I just want to lie down. And I laid down and listened to telepathy tapes. And I rested, and then I cleared. Whew, I purged. And now I'm drinking some fluids to try to hydrate myself, because I know that I'm a little dehydrated. I can recognize that that's one of the things in the morning, is like, how do I make sure I hydrate enough so that my brain doesn't go, oh, I've got a headache because I'm a little dehydrated. And then what do I need to do? Clean things up enough. back things up enough. Have enough containers to be conscious. And then we've got a friend, Francis, coming in about a week's time to help us really build some shelves and everything else like that. So looking forward to that. Putting up lights, everything else. Even all the little things. And then we'll be here during solstice. So what do we want to do during solstice? Something special. Yeah. Whether we do something during solstice or not. That's a good question. Whether I do it for some souls that don't have enough money. Whether I pay for them, whether I use it as a tool for experimentation, men's group experimentation. That's a possibility as well. That's a possibility as well. Let's get that message from Francis and see what he wants to do. Let's tune into it. Contemplate a men's group. Solstice, not solstice, equinox. Experiment. I'm just contemplating that right now, what that would look like. If there's anything medicinal involved, if it's breath, what reconnection is possible. What's desired, not desired. And not making too big a deal out of it all. Not making too big a deal out of it all. All right. One of the big things yesterday that I noticed during the breath session, Ahana breath flow, was just the pure perfection of the moment. And being reminded that everything else is a detail. Like right now, everything I'm doing, I get to choose. And if I'm being honest, every moment I get to choose. There may be external constraints. I've got stuff in this room right now. As you can see, I'm surrounded by some clutter, and I'm going to get someone to come over today to help me to declutter. So there may be stuff around me. There may be things like I've got a child screaming or an upset wife, or there may be legal implications, and there may be monetary constraints, and I get to choose. And how many of us keep forgetting that in the quest of some number, and the number especially is the financial one, some feeling of safety, pattern recognition of what we think safe is supposed to mean, some stuckness on an emotion. That was me the other day. I had a stuckness on an emotion, a righteousness, an injustice, a victimhood, an outrage. And I was like, okay, it shifted me completely from where I was, which felt much more balanced and connected, to unbalanced and disconnected. And I am responsible for doing my own work to notice the patterns that have come up. Okay, how many times have I felt like I've been overridden? How many times am I doing that to my own son in my own ways now too? And also letting go of what I think my impact on him is going to be unless he's showing it. And I practiced that yesterday. I noticed I was trying to be firm and kind, and instead I was just firm and not kind. Like, no, I said this earlier, this is done, this is the way. And I noticed him trying to crawl under the couch. It's like, oh, thank you for reminding me that was not firm and kind. I'm sorry. It doesn't mean that I don't want some of the structure. Okay, let's actually get to the point where we're actually eating better so that we're not eating as late. And it's not that we can't do it. So that's the thing we keep reminding myself and himself of. It's not that we don't have the food or the capability. I'm just of the belief now more and more that if we eat before bedtime, that's actually better for us. And part of it will be continuing to explain this and let go of us being right. I think it's practicing something new and see what happens. See what happens with sleep, especially with all of us. See what happens with his own nutrition. And part of it is remembering when he has a growth spurt, all bets go out the window. Because just hunger is okay. And even that might just be another thing we've been told. Oh, that was a good yawn. Right now is a period of, also, part of the reason for me creating the work that I'm doing in the way that I'm doing, it's almost like some people say, you've outpriced yourself. And I'm like, no, I purposely priced myself so I wouldn't be working that much right now. And I can feel the work starting to build up and flow in. And it just hasn't gotten to the flow in yet. And I trust it. And in the meantime, it's practicing to deliver the value of the work that I see delivering already. And every piece is a practice. Every piece is a practice. Like, every time I deliver something, some people be like, oh, that's just a thing you're doing, just holding breath. I'm like, no, I'm putting a lot into each. And it doesn't mean it has to take a lot out of me just because I put in a lot to each. That's my own reminder for the future. I'm doing it right now because of me as well. I'm doing it because I want to go through these experiences and see what's on the other side and practice being with this level of conscious creative energy, 369. Looking at the 369 that popped up yesterday and then recognizing the simplicity of some of these numbers, like the 6 goes into itself. And I thought, oh, the 9 goes into itself. And the 6 and the 9 together, if you want to take a look at it both ways, looks like an infinity symbol. Same thing with an S. Continuing S turns into an infinity symbol. Like all these little clues. And then 3, 6, 9, 3 plus 9 add up to 12. And we've been told we're coming from a 12 base DNA. I think we're actually here to shift into a 15 base, which 1 plus 5 is equal to 6. 1 plus 2 is equal to 3. 1 plus 8 is equal to 9. To an 18 base DNA. And I don't know what that means or how it means. It's just it's just so many different words really right now. And the words have some meaning. And there's symbolism baked into the culture of our mathematics, baked in the culture of our language. I was thinking the S's, and what if all the S planets, the Sun, Saturn, Mars, Venus, and there may be another one I missed, all have, portals through them. Slipstreams. What if we're aiming for a different one? And what if we just let go of all these and they're just beautiful little games that we're playing in our head? And there's no right and no wrong answer. But there are clues that have been left. I do feel that. It's like yesterday, we went to pick up some meat from a friend, and my little man had a monster truck he's had since he was in PEI. He was gifted it by one of our neighbors in PEI. It was a green monster truck, didn't think much of it. And they put on this show called Plankton, which is from SpongeBob SquarePants. And it turns out that monster truck was Plankton from SpongeBob SquarePants. And my friend's dad noticed it and pointed it out. I was like, oh my God, thank you, universe, for reminding us and dropping us clues. Because of all the cards they could have chosen to go there, it was that one. Of all the movies they could have watched, it was that one. It's like over and over these connection points. Hey, this is where we're at. And then yesterday was a really potent breath session for my dear friend who had lost his wife 9 years ago. And he's finding different ways to be with his grief. Finding different ways to be with his grief. And it's funny that I came across that book about Your Mother Has Died. And that was, again, a reminder from Linda to Harrison. So there's so many things. I'll take a look and see if I can find that book again briefly. and share that with him. So many things. The energy of those we think we've lost is always here. The essence, the infinity, the infinite part of them is always here. And then how, as I'm waking up to my own gifts, support my family to wake up to their gifts. Just listening out to the telepathy tapes about how one of the children would connect with his mom through lucid dreaming, would wake her up in the dreams, and the lucid dream would become even more powerful. And wouldn't that be cool? There's so many cool possibilities of how this life is going to live. And then for myself, I'm debating right now, like when I want to gift someone some work, do I tell them what the actual cost is and then actually pay myself for it? And that's what was coming up today. Is that a consideration that will change the idea of gifting? Or then it's still sustainable fair exchange. I'm actually gifting it back to myself, but noticing it. And there's not a right or wrong way to do this. Like I'm just feeling the ickiness and the stuckness of all these ideas and things. I've got my call with Elena tomorrow morning, so it's starting to write down the questions. Starting to write down the parts of myself that had feedback. Starting to write down the observations I've noticed. Because the observations I've noticed are also for me. How do I have people in place who are really, eventually, probably an alternate CEO of some kind? Because it probably isn't my highest and best to be a CEO rather than, especially when I get to a certain size. Definitely I want eventually a CEO, chief of operations. Affirmations. And I'm practicing going through different parts to see what comes up in my head, because I can feel the speeding, the slowing. Affirmations. You are a genius. I am a genius and I apply my wisdom. Today is going to be a wunderbar day. I feel to heal. Everything is a story. I always have a choice. The only constant is change. Wisdom is the instantaneous recognition that crisis is a blessing. Love what I have and have what I love. No, I do what I love and I love what I do. There we go. I do what I love and I love what I do. And that one's a really important one. I do what I love and I love what I do. And I'm practicing saying some of these affirmations, going through that process from the Demartini method. I'm just pulling up the computer right now, 6:34 a.m. And pulling up the affirmations. Okay, going from the bottom up. I am a conscious teacher, guide, facilitator, lover, father, husband, and I am present with each and every moment of life. And as I say this, hilarious, I recognize the truth in it. That's my work right now, is just to be present with every moment, whatever comes. And we've been booking our trips out east to PEI and noticing that it's like whatever we want it to be. Noticing the living room, it's whatever we want it to look like. Noticing, because there's even an idea, maybe we'll move sooner than we think. We've had an offer to be in a place in North Van, and we'll have to see what the flexibility is, take a look at the place, feel the energy of the place, and see if that feels like a good fit, like a good next move, knowing that we'll be moving away from a lot of familiarity here. There's a lot of things that are familiar here, and a lot of things that feel connected here. And will we have that connection up there? Or will we feel like a fish out of water? So it's something for us to consider, like actually consider. Not just, is this a good opportunity? And it is a good opportunity. Inspired action, loving service, silent presence, grateful prayer, divine guidance, sharing wisdom, caring sincerely, study truths, temperate rhythm, fair exchange. Inspired action, loving service, silent presence, grateful prayer, divine guidance, sharing wisdom, caring sincerely, study truths, temperate rhythm, fair exchange. Inspired action, loving service, silent presence, grateful prayer, divine guidance, sharing wisdom, caring sincerely, study truths, temperate rhythm, fair exchange. I do what I love, and I love what I do. A genius is one who sees the guiding light of their soul, listens to the internal message, and obeys. Make the rest of my life the best of my life. I am strength, I am love, I am joy. I create my reality in every moment, in every hour, in every day. Every day I'm healthier, every day I'm happier, every day I'm clearer. Every day, in every way, I'm getting stronger and stronger. We're going to finish this 500-piece puzzle today. My genius elevates me beyond my daily illusions. I listen to my heart, which awakens my genius. I walk through the darkened doorway where fear lurks, and I turn on the light. I link everything I do to my mission, and I'm inspired by my life. I look for the genius in everyone I meet. I talk to myself with the respect due a great genius. Thank you for giving me this experience. Forgiveness is a passing milestone on the path of love and truth. There are no victims, just lessons in love. Nothing is missing, it just changes form. It's funny, as I'm reading this, I'm imagining myself being in the new home in North Vancouver. And one of my biggest concerns is, how do I keep my cat from running away? How do I train my cat to keep coming back? How do I not have my cat run into traffic? Not have my child run into traffic? All these ideas and all these challenges in my head. How do I be with a different level? And I'm recognizing part of it is being with what I perceive to be my beloved's fears. And they're not wrong, because they sit here as well, just not as prominently. And I don't want anything bad to happen, especially to my cat or my son. And how do I let go of my version of control as well? It's easy to say she's got her level of control. Oh, just be with that. It's like, what about me? What about me if I was on my own? Leaving the door open, knowing the cat could run at any time, knowing the cat could run onto the street. How do I train the cat so he doesn't run on the street in that way? How do I guide my son so that he sees that, okay, there's a safe boundary here. There's a safe boundary here, but even the driveway could be an unsafe boundary. Like, what if someone's pulling in? Oh, and just feeling the energy and the weight of it all. And then recognizing at some point in time, it's actually trusting that life is going to happen. Even right now. Whew, such a clusterfuck. There are no victims, just lessons in love. Nothing is missing, it just changes form. Everything serves, including me. Gratitude is heaven, ingratitude is hell. And really practicing this more now, gratitude is heaven. Like, thank you for this perfection, thank you for this abundance, thank you for us living our lives the way we get to live them. I forget that